Hi again. Thank you for joining me for our Monday devotion where I do a sermon recap of what was preached in church on Sunday. And today the text we looked at was from Romans chapter 5, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I began by saying how often we use the word happy. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy Easter, happy New Year, happy Valentine's Day. And we always kind of wishing that for people well. So we use that word a lot. But we never say like happy suffering because we don't want to suffer. But there might be something good that comes from our suffering when we look back on what a blessing it was. And so we looked at Romans chapter 5, verses 3 to 5, and that says, we rejoice in our sufferings. And I said, no, not always. I mean, when we're in the midst of difficult times, emotional with our heart or physical pain or things like that, we don't rejoice. We want to get past it. We don't enjoy the suffering whatsoever. But it says, we rejoice in our sufferings because we know suffering produces perseverance. And that's true. If our life were just so easy all the time, no challenges, no struggles, nothing difficult, we wouldn't develop perseverance. It's the difficult times that teach us how to endure. Stick with it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Be strong. And in God as well. You know, when people might mock us or whatever, well, you believe in that God? Yes, I do. And I will not give up believing in that God. And that the strength comes from maybe the suffering, people making fun of us for who we are as God's people. So suffering produces perseverance. Then it says perseverance produces character. And that's true. Because character is like a grit, an inner strength, a push from yourself to just keep going and going and going. That's what the character we want to have as God's people, and know what a blessing it is to have that character that is produced in us from suffering, produces perseverance, and perseverance character. It goes on to say that character then produces hope. And not the hope that we use in this world, because with hope in this world, it's pretty much synonymous with wish. Oh, I hope that happens, or I wish that happens. Biblical hope, godly hope, Christ hope is already in place. Our hope is in God. Our hope is in Christ already right now because of what Christ has done for us through his blood, through his sacrifice, in making us the people of God. So there's no wishing. I mean, I hope I'm saved. Oh, I hope my sins are forgiven. That's worldly hope. No, I have true hope in the forgiveness of sins Christ has won for me through his sacrifice upon the cross. We also talked about how not just our suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope, but Christ also suffered on our behalf. You know, without our asking him to suffer for us, he came into our world, our flesh and blood, died in our place on his cross, sacrificed, breathed his last, was then buried, then brought back to life. And all that work that Jesus did for us is where we put our hope. In his suffering, we put our hope because we know what a blessing it is. And Christ indeed is also our hope, because there's no hope elsewhere that we would ever want to put our confidence in or trust in than Jesus Christ. What I ended with was kind of an observation that the fact that hindsight can be a real blessing to faith. But that means when I'm suffering right now, I just want it to end right now. But if looking back at some of my previous life's sufferings or hurts, I might have been strengthened through them. So faith and hindsight go well in hand with one another, because as a believer in God and looking back on my life, I see God with me. I see God blessing me. I see God caring for me and taking care of me again and again and again. Again, we can't see that without the gift of faith. We can look back and say, oh, this happened, that happened. But I mean, what happened to us in the past as God's people? That's the real issue. So we give thanks that we are the people of God through the blood of Christ. Hindsight works very well with faith, and suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope, and hope does not disappoint us. And we give thanks for that. I pray God bless your week. I hope you can join me again on Thursday for another devotion, and I hope you can join us for worship on Sunday at some point. God bless. Bye-bye.